Hey guys, Bones here on the PBE, here to talk to you guys about the Xin mini rework and my preliminary conclusions on it based on a couple days worth of play. So let's preface this video like I typically do with my conclusion in a very sort of upfront and academic sort of way. I enjoyed it. I think actually Riot has done a pretty good job within the limited scope of at least what I think they were trying to go for. It's not, you know, a major rework, which incidentally I should probably mention, they haven't totally ruled out in the long run. They might totally, you know, redesign them in a sort of a Warwick or Galio sort of way. But for the time being, we have this mini rework, and sort of the limit for the limited number of changes they put on them, I think they've done quite a good job of actually making Xin kind of interesting. Obviously, the old version is pretty simple. Like, old Xin was like either got fed, went straight in, killed everything, or didn't get fed, went straight in, and then got himself killed, and that was kind of it. Now he's got a few more interesting things to him. Obviously in the form of the W, which is the new skill. They shuffled some of the stuff around. I'm not going to go into this in detail. You guys probably know at this point, or if you haven't, you can look it up. They put this invulnerability thing in his ult. So again, a measure of complexity and some level of depth on the character. I think earlier I referred to it as like, he's like old Xin, but not quite. Like there's just this new element to him that makes him kind of interesting. Or the other thing I said was, Xin is like a fun version of his old self, almost. So yeah, in terms of the actual character balance, that I don't want to talk too much about in this video. The public test realm is very, very bad for assessing like character balance and actual numbers. You can kind of get a very rough idea, but the skill level is so all over the place that, like, frankly, I can kind of do whatever and get away with it there a lot of the time. So, you know, I could play something really bad and murder, you know, my lane opponent, and then, you know, draw this incorrect conclusion that it's overpowered or something. So I don't want to like dwell on this too long. Again, it gives a rough idea. I feel like if anything, he might be slightly overpowered based on the numbers, just because he kicks out so much damage. But again, I'm not going to commit to any kind of statement like that too hard, because again, it's too hard to tell. Unless it's also a public test realm, things can change, etc., etc. But he does deal some scary damage. So his W is quite interesting. I'm going to talk about sort of his mechanics just a little bit here. But his passive, I'm going to read this so we're all on the same page here just to make sure. But every third attack deals a certain amount of bonus attack damage. It goes from 20% up to 80% at level 18. So currently we're at 80% as bonus damage, and then there's a healing portion. Don't worry about that. But it actually, aside, not just from his auto attacks, it actually works with his W as well. So note that, so see we're at 2 stacks right now. His third attack is going to be empowered or whatever. But note that I'm going to stab this thing here with my W. It actually just went up to 3, right? So that dealt 300 something damage there. If I hit it again, this one's going to deal, it actually does work again with his W. So, oops, I missed. Missed stationary target. That one dealt 564, so yeah, it gets stronger and it stacks up. That also works with the slash, incidentally. So if you hit someone with the slash stab, you get 2 stacks. See? So you can actually empower the slash as well, which is kind of a waste. Well, not massively, but so I'm going to empower. I'm getting an empowered slash here. Notice the slash that time dealt 300 something, whereas normally it only deals 100 and something. So, of course, it obviously stacks with the regular attacks. You know, it gets empowered like that. That was a crit. Don't mind that. You can use it with the W, or the Q, rather. It does not get stacked up with the E, mind you, or the Alt. So it only works with the W and the Q. But I thought that was kind of interesting. In the other video I made in regard to the Xin changes, I talked about the potential of the W as just kind of a as a lane poking tool, and then having tested that, yeah, I can kind of conclude that, again, this is one of those situations where public test realm, very bad example. I was getting away using this as a poking tool a lot, but I feel like, again, against more experienced opponents, that probably won't work because it's a very slow, essentially, it's a slow telegraphed Jarvan Q. So, I mean, you can sometimes land it, but granted, if you do land it, it's going to be a lot of damage, especially if you stack it to the point where, again, you're ensuring that you get the empowered version. So that's a pretty powerful poking tool, again, but you have to will be able to land it that way. And I think, again, if the opponent knows what they're doing, they're just going to go and they dodge out of the way. But it seems just more useful when you kind of go right up to the person and they have sort of less of a chance to get out of the way, or especially if you go and then you knock them up, obviously you can't get out of the way. Because, you know, if you land that full thing there, it deals a lot of damage. But there are different ways of using it, which, again, adds to that level of complexity to the character that he very much lacked before. Because, you know, old Xin was just actually kind of remind me of Ribbon, where you just, like... you can probably hear that mashing, but... anyway, yeah, that's the new Xin. If you happen to catch this video, I suppose we'll end on this note, but if you happen to catch this video right as I upload it, I'll be streaming. So if you have any questions about builds, everything, you know, anything you want to see with the character, please let me know in the chat. Twitch.tv/Ponce. Link available in the description below, like it usually is. Yeah, Xin, like I said, he's fun within the scope of what I think Riot was trying for, which is like a minimal number of changes. I think they did a pretty good job. It preserves that old style of play, because sometimes you do get those people who like the old style champion. They complain for whatever weird ass reason. It's like usually it doesn't make any sense. It's like, I like the old Scion, and I'm sitting there going, really? What's wrong with you? But anyway, for those of you guys who like the old Xin, he does resemble the old Xin very much, but has some neat stuff added to him to maybe, you know, allow people who like some some degree of mechanical complexity, not a lot, but some, in their champions, and you know, having them be slightly less binary, so it'll expand the player pool of, you know, maybe people who are willing to play Xin, while still satisfying the old crowd, I would think. That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys around, and like I said, maybe I'll see you on the Twitch channel. Goodbye.